All right, welcome back, you beautiful souls. I'm putting part one out of the 300 sub special because of all the beautiful comments that you guys made in the in part zero. One moment, Sleeping Celestial. I want to give a shout out to you because you're the you're one of the first people that has pointed big um, a big point to the series that I had planned and I didn't really think anybody would catch with this. And join the Discord server. I will link the Discord down below for all those who want to join. Go to the Discord. I do have a tab there for what if suggestions. And I am going to add other tabs to it, and I will also add temporary tabs for certain questions and stuff for other series that I want to do. It's just right now I have a lot of stuff that I'm going through. But again, Celestial, props to you, bud. Or girl, like, just props. Props to you. You're one of the first people that has really gotten something that I didn't think anybody would really catch it, but you did it in the first episode. So good job. That being said, to all you other beautiful souls, thank you so much for all the support. Again, I'm doing this part one so soon because of all the support that part zero got. Like, I did it, I uploaded the video in the middle of work last night, and once I got home, I checked everything again, and I was just, like, amazed with all of this. So, where we last left off, I believe I had Mitsuki and Inko talking to their kids together, and basically they explained the situation to Katsuki. And yes, the Bakugo that we love and know, still named Katsuki because in Japan, Katsuki is a unisex name. Depending on if it's a female or a male name, it changes. Like I said in the last part, it changes the meaning ever so slightly, but it's not really much to mention. And for those of you who think, I do suggest looking it up. That being said, let's get back to the story. So, clarify some things. As Celestial pointed out, Deku is kind of girly in this. To better explain it, because I did watch the episode throughout the night, and I had already planned to explain this in better detail. In this world, males have a passive version of the gene, so that, and I'm doing that so that characters like Shoto can still exist, where he will, in this, she will still have half hot, half cold. So Endeavor is going to be the female, so that way Endeavor is still a hero, so I don't have to do a whole rewrite where Shoto Mom is the hero and then Endeavor is just some Joe Schmo, because I like Endeavor's character development in recent chapters of the manga. And I do plan on continuing. This is going to be one of my long-lived series, hopefully. And there's a couple other that I will continue doing as My Hero Academia continues. with the exception of my breakout quirk, because I'm still working on a few parts with that, and I will get those uploaded. So we last left off again where Inko and Mitsuki explained it, and Katsuki, even in canon, wasn't a dumb kid. Neither was Deku. Like, they were, no, like, Katsuki, people tend to forget, is actually a pretty smart person in My Hero Academia. I think he's, like, either third or fourth of the class as far as academics go. I believe he's fourth because I think with 1A, it's... No, he's either third or fourth, because I know Momo and Mineta do get better scores academically than Katsuki, but where Katsuki really outshines almost everyone else is his battle sense. Basically, if he's in a fight, like if you're in a fight where you wanted someone to like watch your back and to like help you out, you would want Katsuki in that fight, even though he's kind of a freaking dick. So Izuku and Katsuki are smart, a little bit more intelligent than the average person currently in canon, and they had above average intelligence even as kids. So after they explained it to Katsuki, she understands that Deku's situation is a secret, and Inko and Mitsuki Inko kind of reams Deku for like showing off like in public, in front of Mitsuki and Katsuki, and this kind of changes Katsuki a little bit. She's not going to be the arrogant asshole that Katsuki is in canon. So she's still going to have that abrasive side to her. She's going to have this. Matter of fact, she's actually going to have like the exact same personality that her mom has. If you guys have seen that in canon, or if like you've watched the series, or read the manga, Mitsuki's personality is pretty much the same as Bakugo's, but she's more friendly, I would say. So now we're going to go over a 3-year there's 6, so it would be a 4-year time skip, from what I'm seeing, what I have planned out in my notes. And over the first next 2 years, so like them turning 8 and everything, Deku has been working with the government in the capacity where they've basically like have him come in running tests and stuff with his quirk, with his blood, and basically giving him some coaching slash mentorship, because the last known case that they know of this ever happening, unbeknownst to unbeknownst to most of the people in the government and government officials, the guy was a supervillain, like I said in the past, but he got his quirk from All For One. So yeah, he had a quirk, but he wasn't born with it. And they don't want this kid coming out becoming a villain because he has a ridiculously powerful quirk. And they're thinking if this kid ever becomes a villain, he probably wouldn't be able to stop. They would probably have like another All for One on their hands. So they're taking a very keen interest in Izuku. One moment, I'm getting a knock at my door. Sorry about that. That was my neighbor returning the wireless charger that I lent him last week. So, I believe we were discussing the government taking interest in Izuku. So, they have contacted a couple of pro heroes to like come by and basically like pro hero, not like A-listers like Eraserhead. No, not Eraserhead, because that comes in. Yeah, Eraserhead isn't part of this. That's a different section of this video. So, it's none of like the A-listers. It's like sort of unknown heroes, with the exclusion of Eraserhead later on. So Deku has, over these next 2 years, has learned how to control his copy quirk. So, and he's learned because when he does touch someone, he can gain the ability to use them, and if he doesn't know how they work, thank you for Celestials for pointing this out to me about Monoma, which I totally forgot. But just like Monoma, he needs to know how the quirk works in order to effectively use it. But he can, if he does copy someone's quirk, he can unintentionally use it, but it wouldn't. So he's learned how to control the copy quirk to the point where if he does copy someone's quirk, it just won't go off randomly, because he does something that is like the trigger for it. So in this, Izuku is going to be he's going to be more intelligent than what he is in canon, just because of the nature of his quirk, because he'll need to like know how like quirks work effectively. So he does study. If people thought he was a fanboy of like heroes in the anime and manga, he's even more so in this, because he has more of an incentive to like study different heroes and how their quirks work and everything. So like Izuku's still going to be the nerd, the kind of nerd that we've all come to love the character in canon for. So now Izuku does have. Someone said they wanted. A couple of people have like one person messaged me on Discord, or no, not Discord. Where was that? Yeah, oh, okay. That's a different what if. I need to rip that out of the notebook and put that in the right spot. So, Deku does have explosions for it, does have explosions, but he'll have to work on his control over it just like Kotsky does. And he has his mother's telekinetic abilities, and he's had that since birth. Like he's had that since birth. So he technically was born with 2 quirks, but he only has 1 quirk that's actually his, because this is kind of grody to some people, but I studied biology in school, so to me this is just common stuff that comes up in normal conversation with me. So basically, in the birthing canal, try not to I'm trying eventually getting monetized, hopefully, but he in the birthing canal he did make skin to skin contact with his mother. That's kind of how it happened, and then subsequently that's why things started to float when he started to cry. So he really got this, like, even in, like, via contact with the womb. So it's weird how to explain that better. We'll say it came from being contacted with his mother through the placenta, just so it makes sense. And I already know people will probably make snarky comments about it, but it is what it is. So when he copies quirks, he will have a limit of 6 quirks that he can copy. And some of you can probably already guess where that's going to lead to. And so effectively he'll have 7 quirks. And no, this isn't a 7 Deadly Sins reference, but he will be able to have like 6 different quirks at the moment, because things could potentially happen to where he gains other quirks that allow him to do other things. So now we're going to skip another 2 years to where Deku is 10 years old. So he's really intelligent, and rumors have like started to spread about Izuku, just because Izuku can be kind of ditzy at times. Like, he doesn't consciously know he's doing it. He kind of does. He randomly activates like his mom's quirk subconsciously whenever he's like really pissed off. I mean, like, you have to pretty much hurt him or hurt someone that he cares about for his telekinetic abilities to manifest and activate without him knowingly do it. So he has been training his explosion quirk and his telekinetic quirk, because the government has provided facilities for Izuku to do this, in the hopes that they can steer him to the path of good, and hopefully prevent him from becoming a villain. And in this, like, these past 4 years, Kotsky has like she's not buddy with Deku. She's still off put by him because he is a guy with a quirk, and she's still like over these 4 years kind of thought of him as a kind of like a monster. So she's still like wary of him, but they have trained like Izuku has offered like a couple of times for her to come with them to a facility that allows like quirk development. And she has came like once or twice, and she's still at this point she has stopped thinking of Izuku as a monster, but she's still kind of creeped out by the fact that he's a guy and he has a quirk, and it's just like in this world it's just fucking weird, plain and simple. Like, pardon the language, but there's really no other way to like get the point across. So when Izuku's 10, he's coming home one day from the facilities, and it's a little bit late in the evening, and he's walking by. He stops in at a store. Like, he tells like the handler, like his handler, that he wants to like stop at a store and get something to drink, and like to get like a snack. So they get to the store, and when Izuku and his handler walk in, the place is getting robbed. And there's also a hero on patrol, and the hero like arrives to the scene, and he sees this little boy and this adult and the place getting robbed, and the adult tells the hero to get the boy out of here. And so Izuku does recognize who it is, and he's like, oh my god, they have a pretty interesting quirk, like, isn't there? And for all of those who I know someone's gonna get pissed at us, but it's Eraserhead. And Eraserhead's like, I'm sorry, sir, but like, you need to leave now. Like, this is a job for the pros. And the guy just basically like pulls something out of his pocket and throws it to Eraserhead. And Eraserhead follows orders because this guy is a government hero. They're not like a public hero. Like, they're a government agent. And he basically tells him, is like, I can't really tell you, but you need to get that boy out of here now. And so Eraserhead does do that, and he, without even thinking, picks Izuku up, and Izuku basically touches him. And then the villain does like go for Eraserhead, but before Eraserhead can activate his quirk, Izuku uses Eraserhead's quirk to stop the villain. And the villain had let's see, what kind of quirk should I give this villain? Let's say he has something. He has like a mutation quirk, or not a mutation quirk, an emitter quirk that allows him to turn his hand into a taser, and he's all like, his hands into tasers, but he's also has a gun and everything. So the villain had already been disarmed, and he goes to lunge at the government official with his taser hands. So before Eraserhead can erase the dude's quirk, Izuku had already done it, and this makes Eraserhead kind of freak out. She, I think I said he. Like, I apologize about that, but I'm gonna have to get used to that. She's like, what? Freaking out. And then, so the government official, like, turns to Izuku, and he says, Midoriya. He says Izuku. He doesn't say Midoriya because that would give better feel. But he uses Izuku's first name. He says, Izuku, what have we told you about that? And Izuku stops using Eraserhead's quirk, and so after the villain is taken away, the government official like talks to Eraserhead and tells her that she can't talk about like what she saw tonight, and the villain didn't notice it was the kid. He didn't notice the kid because he didn't know what had happened. He wasn't really paying attention to like everyone else that was in the building. And the Quirk was more occupied with the fact that there was somebody robbing his ass. So the government official explains to Eraserhead that she needs to keep this quiet. And Eraserhead has heard like rumors about a boy that has a quirk, and she basically kneels down, and Izuku's is saying like I'm sorry I copied your quirk without asking, and Eraserhead kind of kneels down and she's like, kid, you need to be more careful, and you shouldn't use your quirk that way. You should ask if you can copy someone's quirk. And Izuku says, yeah, I kind of had to learn how to control that, and I can't really copy everyone's quirk, but I have like some storage. And Eraserhead kind of puts her finger up to his lips, and he says, you shouldn't be telling people all your secrets to your quirk, you know. If you want to be a hero, like, you shouldn't tell people the secrets of your quirk. It can cause some issues, like some people I know. But in any case, kid, it was kind of nice meeting you, and there was an interactions for like an hour, and Izuku like thanks her for saving them, and so Eraserhead gets out of there before like the media can like interview her. And so the day goes on, and when Izuku gets home, like he happily tells his mom that he met an unknown hero, that a hero that isn't really known that much, and she was awesome. She's just like I thought she would be. And Inko's a little bit worried about this, and she's like, what? And the government official explained what happened, and then Inko's like, Izuku, why'd you do that? Like, you know you're not supposed to copy people's quirks without asking them first. It's kind of villainous. And Izuku's like, I'm really sorry, I thought I could help. And if I used any of the other quirks I have, it would get really noticed, and I thought her quirk would be the one that would get least known. And Inko kind of tells him like, that's fine, but you really need to like not do that. You're the only male in known history that has, well, this is from Inko's perspective, that has a quirk, and if people found out too soon about it, there could be people that come after you, and it sickens me to death that I won't be able to protect you from this. And she kind of starts crying, and Izuku kind of walks up to her and hugs her, and basically using his telekinesis to like lift her up a little bit, like like basically picking her up, because I'd say he's about half her height at this point, or a little bit over half her height, because he's a preteen. So he's not going to be a little kid. And she's like, "Sweetie, put me down." And he's like, "I'm sorry, Mom. I thought you'd never. It's okay, sweetie. Like, dinner's getting cold, and you should probably eat something before you go to bed." And so they do have like dinner and everything, and the next day, Izuku at school tells Akatsuki that she met a hero, and Akatsuki's like, "Oh yeah, what hero?" And he says, "I met Eraserhead. She was kind of cool." And Akatsuki's like, "Who's that?" And Izuku's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. She doesn't like giving interviews and everything. There's very little information about her online, but her quirk is known." Because Izuku had managed to find like old video footage of the sports festival when Eraserhead was in school. So now we're going, I think I went, we're at 32 minutes. You know what? I'm actually going to make this like near an hour long episode. Just for you guys. So now we're going to skip, another year. So Izuku will be 11 years old. And I'm sorry for those of you who really like my enjoyment, but there's not really much interactions that can really change up until this point, because of how secret the government is keeping this quirk, like this boy's like quirk. And over the past year, Izuku has like started using his quirk more and more. Well, quirks, I should say. And it has gotten him in trouble, and more rumors are starting to spread about a boy with a quirk. So this leads to some known pro heroes like taking notice of this, and he does get watched because some pro heroes have been contacted by the government, and they had heard rumors about it, so they agree to kind of keep an eye on this kid, because if someone can brainwash him or get him to do their bidding, it would be very bad for society. So the rumors have started to spread even more. So that when Ezekiel was 11 and 5 years ago, so now he's walking home and everything one day, and he had it rough today because some kids were bullying him, and like the girls were being very mean to him today because they're saying, "Oh, you're just a boy, you can't be a hero." And he's like, "I will be a hero." And all the meanwhile, like, Katsuki's kind of over in the freaking corner, like, trying to avoid Deku, like, at all cost in school, because, oh boy, if she's still kind of a little bit intimidated by him, because she's like, but they are friendly towards each other. They're not really friends, but she knows if he gets mad enough, he could explode and do some damage to people if he really wanted to. So this leads Izuku to meeting a few other pro heroes, and he gains so he oh god, that's gonna be great. So he gets a little bit more training in with his quirk, and he has learned, because he hasn't really copied a lot of people's quirks, and he found out that his limit is 6, and he learned how to get rid of multiple quirks at the same time, basically erasing them from, like, storage unit. At the time, he had to do it one by one. He couldn't just do it, like, he couldn't do a mass purge, like doing more than one purge of, like, quirks, because it does take some concentration to do. So he's learned how to do that with multiple quirks at a time. So if he wanted to, he could say, you know what, no, I don't want any of these quirks. But because of how close he is with his mom, he keeps his mom's quirk. And everyone's, like, probably thinking, like, but Inko has a weak telekinetic quirk. Well, when Izuku copies a quirk, it evolves a little bit. It becomes a little bit stronger. And no, for all you that are thinking that if he copies one for all, that would be completely broken. The thing is, if you copy one for all, it wouldn't be the one, it wouldn't have all the power. Like, you'd just be copying the enhancement quirk, like the one for all base, basically. That it's as though, like, none of the other successors have had it, which is the general consensus amongst a lot of people in chat rooms and stuff like that, information that I can find online about it. So Izuku he keeps his mom's quirk, and he keeps Katsuki's quirk, because he thinks he every once in a while, like, does, like, say, oh, you have an explosion quirk, so do I. And Katsuki will be like, yeah, but you didn't have that quirk from the start. You got that quirk from me. How does it feel to, like, basically Katsuki is like, tells Deku, is like, how does it feel to have borrowed power? Like, your quirk's kind of useless if you don't copy someone else's quirk, right? And so this does put strife between the two. So they have, like, Izuku has continued training. His telekinetic abilities have gotten considerably stronger from when he was a baby. It used to be, like, a little bit stronger than his mom's, but now I would say it's a good bit stronger than his mom's quirk. Basically, when he copies a quirk, he can train those quirks and improve on them, just like anyone else can. So he does train the explosion quirk, and he trains his telekinetic quirk, and he has learned certain combos that he can do with the quirks that he has, and he's thinking, he has thought about like like giving up Eraserhead's quirk, but he's going to keep it until he finds something better that he can replace it with. So this is coming up on 40 minutes, so I'm going to stop the story here because I can start there with the next one. So down in the comments section, quirks that you would like Deku have that are either a temporary quirk or no. Comment down below like a quirk that you would like to see Deku copy. So thank you guys all for all the support. Comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.